Hey YouTubers, welcome back to another episode of Jack of All Trades. What I have for you today is going to be a comparison of 4 different commonly found 50 amp generator inlet boxes. The good gentleman there at Pruste reached out to me and they wanted me to test out their new and improved 50 amp inlet box. And actually I told them I already had plans to test out a few more. So here we are, we have 4 that we're going to test out. One that I installed here not too long ago in my step-by-step video for my interlock video, but also we have some more that are more commonly found in your big box stores like Home Depot and Lowe's, as well as the ones that actually are recommended by Amazon. I don't know if you've noticed, but if you're in the market for this type of equipment right now, supplies is very slim. So these are the most common ones you can find right now when you go shopping. We're going to test them in 5 different categories: durability, ease of use, price, size, and features. And to top it all off, if you want to win one, I'm going to be giving this one away, and it will give you more instructions at the end of the video on how you can get it free of charge. Stay tuned for this video. All right, so we're going to start out here with the cheapest one. This category is going to be worth 4 points. For the cheapest box, it's going to get the maximum 4 points. The most expensive box is only going to get 1 point. I can tell you that price is a factor in a lot of these. You know, when you're installing something like this isn't something people use a lot. You know, this is generally emergency type equipment. So price is a factor because you know it's not something you use every day, and you can afford to do something, you know, on a budget. So this one right here is the cheapest one. You can get this off of Amazon. This is one of the Amazon choices actually, and this is the one I have on my house right now. I picked it because it was steel and it was small and it had a lot of space. Those were something that were important to me. It may not be important to everybody though, but price for right now in this category, this RunDik runs $50, okay? And currently on Amazon right now, it has 68 reviews of 4.5 stars. So that's not a bad rating. Next on the list here, you know, this is not a twin. You can tell a lot of these parts are reused from the other one. This is a new and improved though. They've made some changes here. The company's made some changes to this box to make it better. So this is the Pruste, and this is a little bit more. It's running right now $60 on Amazon. It's a new product. There is a 10% off coupon right now, so you would run about $54. We'll get to talking about some of the improvements on this later, and we'll discuss if it's worth that price though. So anyway, just to give you a quick rundown, the RunDik got 4 points in that category. The Pruste, it gets 3. Next we have Reliance Controls, a good American-made product here. Home office in Racine, Wisconsin. So it is made in America. It doesn't have any of those little squirrely words in there that it's made in America from, you know, outsourced parts. It just says made in America. I think Reliance is a well-known name. You can get these just about anywhere online. You can get them at big box stores. They're readily available. I have used this before at a previous house. I do have complaints about it. We'll get into that later. But this one's only going to get 2 points because it is the second most expensive at $68. All right, last but not least, we have AC Works. As you can see, it's a lot larger form factor. It's quite different actually than the other boxes. And this is only going to get 1 point because it's the most expensive. As you might have guessed, it is larger, so that could add into that. But it does have a few different features that I think add to that price. So we got 1 point here for the AC Works, and this is the AC Works CS6375, that's the model number, and this one comes in at $83, and we're going to give that 1 point for the price because it is the most expensive out of all of them. Okay, next category is going to be size. You know, this is going to be hard because 3 of these are the exact same size, pretty close. I can tell you size is going to be a factor because of 2 things. One, you don't really want something that's massive, that's taking up a lot of room, especially if you have this in a cluttered area. You want a small form factor, but at the same time, you want it to be wide enough for the wiring, because of the way these are wired, you have to actually bring the wires in at almost a 90 degree and screw them in. And I can show you guys later, but The smaller this is, the deeper it is, the easier it is to use. So the ones that are skinny are not going to do you too well. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and give this one's nice and deep. I'm going to give this one 3 points out of 4, out of the 4. And this is the RunDik. And it's going to get the same exact points as the Pruste because they're the exact same box. Matter of fact, most of these materials are reused in both of these items, and they're the same depth and the same width. They're the same case, and so they're both going to get 3 points. The Pruste and the RunDik. We're going to give the most points to this guy. This guy's going to get a full 4 points for the AC Works. It's larger. It's much larger, almost twice, I would say. But it's not obnoxiously large. It's huge. There's plenty of room. It's got a lot of features in it. I really like the size of this, and I think had I done some more research, I think I would have bought this one instead of the one I got from RunDik. But so this is going to get the full 4 points in that category. It has a good size, good depth, works really well for wiring. So I think these form factors here are going to be just fine for wiring. We're going to run into the Reliance though, and the Reliance is what I installed in my first house, and it had quite a bit of problems. As you can see here, it is substantially different in the depth, and I would say probably a ½ inch, and that really does matter. What you don't see here is this actual plug. The back of the plug runs right up to the end of this, to the back of the box, and it's just horrible to actually wire. I did a rear wiring on mine, and it was super hard to get all those wires stuffed in there, and then to get this bad boy cranked back down in the front. I actually broke the screw off and had to replace it. So that wasted time because I had to run to the store to get that. I didn't have any screws that fit in the house. So for this category, I'm only going to give this one a 1 point. Size-wise, it is small. People might be looking for that, but it is annoying to wire, and it's quite a big problem actually. So we're only going to give 1 point to the Reliance on this one. Again, we got 3 points for the twins here, the RunDik and the Pruste, and then the AC Works is going to take this category all the way because it has plenty of size, and I don't think it's obnoxiously big, so it's not actually going to be in the way and cumbersome when you mount it on the wall. All right, so our next category here is going to be durability. I can tell you, I measured the metal on all of these, and I can tell you it's pretty close to the same for the Pruste, the RunDik, and the AC Works. They're all about the same thickness gauge. Reliance is thinner. It's a lot lighter actually too. I can tell you that having the metal box is a benefit, not only with working your ground. If you're running metal conduit, you can use that as a ground. That's a huge benefit. It may eliminate the need to run a separate ground wire, depending on what you're doing in your application. But I do appreciate the metal boxes. If you look at the 30 amp video that I shot for the 30 amp inlet boxes, some of those were plastic. Plastic is a disadvantage because they're just not going to take a whole lot of abuse. Now what you might also see here is the Pruste, the RunDik, and the Reliance all have plastic face caps on them, okay? And those aren't going to hold up as much as the metal. Okay, so the AC Works has quite a different cover. It's not completely enclosed like these are, but there's a shield over the front. So really, your only disadvantage would be is if you're mounting this upside down, and I wouldn't recommend that. So in this case, I'm going to give the twins here, the Pruste and the RunDik, I'm going to give them 3 points. AC Works is going to win with 4 points, and Reliance is going to hold up the rear with the 2 points. All right, so here we're gonna actually start with the RunDik first, okay? Now, as far as features go, you'll notice that this one has a light on it. I don't think a lot of people really need this light, right? Most people are gonna know the generator's running because you're gonna hear it. This light is supposed to show you that the generator is supplying power to the house. I guess possibly if you were troubleshooting maybe a connection issue, you would see this light's on and you know that you're getting power to that point. I don't see a reason why it would matter, though. Most people are going to know the generator is running because it's going to make noise, right? If you can think of a reason why this light would be needed or a clever idea, please post it in the comment section. I'd be interested in hearing. So as far as the features go, this does have the door that will hold itself open, okay? It doesn't have a spring, though, that would snap it shut. I like the ones that have the cam that holds it open, but also the spring that would make sure it's shut, right? Because this could cock open, and the actual purpose of the seal on the inside is not going to do you much good if it's just going to hold open anyway. But it does have a cam. It does have some foam insulation in here. The parts inside are not top notch, okay? These aren't the bronze pieces in the inside or the copper. It's just steel. So it doesn't have the higher quality parts. It has foam instead of rubber. I can actually tell you that this has a lot of features that aren't great. The one good feature about this is it's cheap, but that's in the price category. So as the features go, it doesn't have real knockouts. As you may have seen in my previous video, I had to drill this out with a step drill, and it was a real pain in the butt. So it's not easy to install, and we'll get to that a little bit more here later. So I think the feature is going to be, it has the light. I don't know the really good purpose for that light, but it has the light, and it will hold the door open, okay? So I'm actually going to give this this RunDik a 1 point out of 4 because I think the features are really lacking, and even though it is the cheapest one, it's not cheap by much, and there's a lot of hassle in messing with these knockouts that aren't really knockouts. So that leads us to the second one. We have the Reliance Controls, good American made, like I said. Box is a bit too small. It has real knockouts, 1/2 inches all the way around on all sides except for the top. Okay. It does have a spring-loaded door, which is a nice feature to have. It doesn't catch though, right? So the odds of being able to plug this in one-handed, it's not going to do you too well, okay? Because it doesn't catch. It will keep itself closed. It has a foam gasket, which is the cheaper side, but it does have better parts on the inside. These are going to last longer. We'll test these out in a minute and see if they're actually machined the right way, because I've found in the past they're not machined correctly. So we'll see if that works out, but it does have better parts, so we'll give them some points for that. It does have a spring. We'll give them some points for that, and it has a good knockout. So out of all of these, I think it's going to go ahead and get 2 points. All right, next on our list here we have the Pruste box, okay? And the power inlet box from Pruste is, as you can see, is a lot like the RunDik, but they've actually taken that design and they've improved upon it vastly, okay? One thing you'll notice here is it's deep, right? And that's good, but the holes look a little different, the knockouts, right? These aren't actually knockouts. They're just holes, right? You just unscrew them and you got your knockout there. And you can easily access this, okay? And if you change your mind later, you don't have to put a plug in there. You just put it back in, put it back together. So I think that's real nice. It's a 1/2 inch hole. There's 4 of them all the way around. And it just doesn't have one on the top. But I think that's a really, really good design. That saves a lot of time for people, okay? So that is a really good feature. Another thing here is you'll notice that just like with the RunDik, it has the door that holds open by itself. There's not a spring though, and it has the steel connectors instead of the brass, okay? So it does have the cheaper connectors on the inside. No spring at all there. Has the light. Again, I'm confused by the light because if the generator's on, you're going to know, but it has some benefit in possible troubleshooting if you have a connection issue. That could be very helpful. It also comes with this grommet here. So with this grommet, you can actually turn this knockout into just a drop box, right? So you just put this grommet into place like this, and then you can actually have this fed just like with an extension cord, right? So you get your power cable in there, and you just turn this into a drop box, and you don't even have to install it on a wall or anything. If you're going to use this temporarily, that's huge, right? So that's a nice feature right there. I like that. Another thing I want to mention here is I keep harping on the Reliance Controls about being a made in America, but check this out. You can't beat this. This is actually a veteran-owned business. So I'm a veteran myself, as some of you may have heard me say in my actual videos. I'm a veteran. I think this is very important to support veterans. So this is really cool here, and I think he's done a good job of improving upon a design that was already not too bad, but had its flaws. He fixed those flaws. So I think for the extra $4 you got to pay for this, it's definitely worth more than a RunDik. So I'm going to give this 3 points. Okay, so now we got the AC works. We'll get in here and we'll look at this. Okay, now this guy, it feels really well made. I like that. Actually, they all feel really well made. The Reliance is a little thinner, so it feels a little cheaper. But as you can see here, you got the high quality brass parts on the inside, and you know, you're gonna plug it in, and this is gonna be a cover, but this is not like actually sealed, right? So that is a disadvantage. I do like that you can lock it, all right? So you can keep the tampering out. You could maybe stick something in there, or a bolt or something. Actually, it's this side. So you can stick a little lock in there if you wanted to keep it from being tampered with, which is kind of cool. And they have bigger knockouts in this one, which is nice. It actually has a 1-inch knockout at the bottom, 1/2 inches all the way around. This is a 1-inch and 3/4 and 1/2 inch combination. And in the instructions, it actually shows there's a 2-inch knockout up here, which is really cool. And so I'm going to go ahead and give this one 3 points. It's not going to get the full 4 points because I don't like that it doesn't seal. If you're in a really humid area, this is going to be a disadvantage. We're going to have more corrosion in here, especially if you have this in an area where you have sprinklers. There's going to be constantly water. So, and also, you know, while it's plugged in, it's open to the elements there. And none of this is sealed in here. So once, you know, when you have this door open, all these parts on the inside are open to that. So it's going to get 3 points as well in this category. And we're going to move to our last category now. All right, so we got ease of use up next on our list of ratings here. So how easy are these going to be to use? How easy are they going to be to install? I can tell you the installation was pretty much the same for all of them. There's 3 screw holes on the back. You can mount it that way, 3 screws or 3 bolts, however you do it. AC Works was slightly different though. It had a 4th hole at the top with like a little curvature that bumped out like a picture holder frame. So you could actually put a screw in first and have it come out just a little bit, and then hang this on that like you're hanging a picture, and then that would allow you to use 2 hands to actually screw the other 3 screws in, which was real nice. The other 3 that we're testing here, it was just 3 screws. You would have to hold it with 1 hand until you get the first screw in. So that's one plus there for the AC Works. Now I can tell you for these large cables for 50 amps, these things are no joke to mess around with. They're pretty stout and stiff. They can be kind of heavy depending on how much you have. But this is a NEMA SS2 twist-a-lock connector. All right, it has the little ground pin there in the middle. So I can tell you a good tip would be to, once you figure out how you got to plug this in and where it goes, you want to make a mark with a Sharpie on your actual plug, and then make a concurrent marking on the inside, right, where you plug it in, so you know where to position it each time. That will help you out a lot, okay? So anyway, as you can see here, we're going to plug this in. We're going to see how easy it is to use. I think that's important. So the door does hold itself open. You got these little bump out tabs and channels on your plug-in that you need to match up with what you have on the actual plug-in. And then you can see here on the inside, there's a little spot for the ground, and that's that ground plate that's here on the plug. Those have to match up when it gets to its final resting place. So for now, let's see how this works out. I'm gonna line the bumps up that are sticking out and push it straight in, and then twist. Okay, and then of course the door would hang over it like that. If it's raining, it does provide some protection from the top, nothing from the bottom. So if this was mounted really close to the ground, you might get some splash up. That could be a bad thing. But anyway, it kind of looks like something you see at an RV park, where they got the little risers and the shore power that comes out of them. But I didn't think that took any more effort than normal to work. It's locked in now. And so to undo it, you would just counterclockwise and then wiggle it and pull out. All right, it was pretty stiff in there, but that worked out pretty good. So it's going to be nice and secure in there. I don't think there would be any concern that there wouldn't be any secure connection. So as far as the ease of use goes, AC Works is going to get the full 4 points. I really like the hanging feature on the top that allows me to hang this first, and then I could go back, and if I'm drilling into stucco or something like that or block, I can go through and it's going to hold itself, and I can put 2 hands on the drill and drill through and screw those bolts or screws in. So that's a really nice feature. I really like that. So 4 points for AC Works. All right, next on our list here we have Pruste. So it's the one that was sent to me to test out, and I've been giving my honest opinion of it so far to this point. We're going to see how easy it is to use. Like I said, it takes 3 screws to screw it in the back. No special features. It's just like the Reliance and the RunDik in that manner. Okay, so the door does hold itself open, which is nice. I like that. You don't really have any kind of lip to contend with here on the side like you did with the AC Works. It's open. The ground is in a different spot, so you do have to pay attention to that. Again, look for the bump outs on either side. You want to line them up with the bump outs on this. And so, bam, just like that. Nice and easy, okay? And then you would just cover that up like that, and this little light would be on if you were supplying power. Again, not completely sure of that function, as you would hear your generator on anyway, but I'm sure some of you guys know what that's for. So anyway, unplugging it, plugging it, bam, just as easy as the AC Works. Okay, so that's good, no problem there. I would go ahead and give this the Pruste a 3, just because it's easy to do. It doesn't have that additional feature, so if we're comparing all of these, AC Work has that one additional feature. I like it, and so we're going to give Pruste a 3 in this category. All right, next on our list is going to be the RunDik. This is the one I currently have installed in my house right now. I purchased it because it was what the Amazon had recommended. It was on the Amazon recommendations, and it was one of the cheapest ones I could find for 50 amp. I didn't know at the time how problematic it would be with the knockouts. So that was a major disadvantage. And actually, I wish this Pruste would have been on the market, because for $4 difference, that would have saved me a lot of hassle. So the door opens. There's a cam that holds it in place. Actually, it's not as stiff as the Pruste though. So it will hold itself up to this point though. I put a marker here, as I told you, a Sharpie marker that lets me know where to line it up with my plug, so that I don't have to fight with it at night. So I just line those 2 dots up, push in, twist the lock. Real simple, okay? Nothing to it. Easy to unplug too, no big deal. It's gonna get 3 points just like the Pruste, right? There's really no difference in that regard. All right, we're down here with the Reliance. We're getting pretty low to the ground. I've run out of room. So the Reliance here, I've installed one of these in my previous house. There is no cam to hold this open. It does have a spring though, so you can look at it a couple different ways. It's a disadvantage that it doesn't hold itself up, but it is nice that it holds itself closed, right? None of the other ones had that option. So for this one, let's see, you would install it just with the 3 screws, just like all the other ones. It doesn't have that additional tab on it like the AC Works, so it is falling behind in that regard. Let's go ahead and plug it in. The ground tab is up here, so this changes pretty much on every one of them. And let's see how we can do this. Okay. All right, that wasn't too bad. The lid doesn't really get in your way as much as I perceived it would. The connection seems kind of loose, like there's some play in it. I didn't see that with the other ones, but it could just be because this is a smaller box. All right, well, it plugs in and unplugs pretty easily. I'm not going to dock it any points. Let's go ahead and give it 3 points like the other 2. And so that wraps up our final testing. Well, hey, check out the results there in that graphic. Looks like the AC Works won there, just barely. Pruste there followed up in a close second place. The AC Works is highly recommended. It had a lot of good features. I feel for almost 90 bucks, it should have some good features because most of the products in this line that you see online are in the $50 to $60 range. The Pruste has a lot of good features as well for the price. I think it's a good value overall. It does improve upon the RunDik. With the flaws the RunDik has, it does improve upon those. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helped you make a decision. Now, for those of you who stayed around and want to know how you can actually win this Pruste, because I'm going to be giving it away on December 12th, all right? I've hidden in this video 4 individual numbers that you need to email to me to prove that you have the winning numbers, okay? So I need you to subscribe, send those 4 numbers to me in an email that's in my About section of my channel, and on December 12th, I'll be contacting you if you're the winner and sending you this free of charge. Okay, so hopefully you get it before Christmas. Anyway, I hope you like this video. Hit the like and subscribe, and you can get some more of my content in the future. Take care. Goodbye.